Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Now today I want to talk to you about Alaska again, and in particular Canada regulations. So your stops in Canada, or you're leaving from Canada to head off to Alaska, or you're doing a Canadian cruise. The Canadian government finally came out with the rest of their protocols. Doesn't mean it's not going to change in another couple of weeks, but for now it's full steam ahead for cruising. Quickly guys, before I get into the Alaska story, I just have to share a quick story with you that happened here on the Wonder of the Seas. I was out looking for a ship model. As many of you know, when I'm in my office at home, you can see the ship models behind me. I have a ship model from every cruise that's a new ship that I've ever gone on. So whenever I go on a brand new ship, I always get the ship model, as long as they have one, of course. I went looking for one on the Wonder on the second day here on the cruise and couldn't find any. Couldn't find the models anywhere. And I was talking to some people out in the promenade, and I mentioned to them that I'm looking for it. They said, well, if we find it, we'll let you know. I said, okay, great, that's terrific. And so, yeah, I went off, I saw one of the shows, and I came back to my stateroom, and there was a knock on my door around 11 o'clock, and my friends, new friends that I was talking to, Dick and Patty, thank you very much. They bought this, and they didn't give me their room number. I can't call them and say thank you, so I'm going to say thank you here. Again, people are so amazing to me everywhere I go. It is beyond humbling. I just had to come out and say thank you so much. I will put this into my collection right away when I get home. You guys are amazing. Okay, on with the story. Alaska, we've been wondering, because Canada came out and said you had to be 100% vaccinated, both crew and passengers, no exemptions. Well, that's changed. We now have exemptions for children under the age of 12 years old, not just 5. Because here in Canada, we've had that 5-year-old you're able to get vaccinated, and we started including them in our numbers. Well, fortunately for cruising and travel to Canada, children 12 and under can get exemptions for travel through Canada and don't need to be fully vaccinated. What they do need, however, will still need to be tested on the way in. And the testing goes 2 ways. You need a test to go into Canada, and you need a test to leave from a cruise ship in Canada. So that kind of is a double-edged sword when you're coming to, say, Vancouver and you're leaving on a cruise ship, because there's 2 tests you can do. The obvious easy one is the antigen test, the quick test, the home test, if you will, and you can get your results right away, but that has to be done within 1 day of either arriving in Canada or getting on your cruise ship. So basically, if you're flying in the same day, you're pretty safe. You can get an antigen test, and then you fly in, it counts as the same day. If you're planning on flying in the day before your cruise or a couple days before your cruise to enjoy Vancouver and take in the sights, you're going to want to take a PCR test, probably an RT PCR test, so your results come back faster. And this will be the test you would use to both fly into Canada, stay a day, and then use that to get on the cruise ship, because that's good for 72 hours. So yeah, that will be the one that most people will end up using. Now it also goes for, you're leaving from Seattle, you have a stop in Vancouver, or you have a stop in Victoria. What are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what you're going to do, but first, let me invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Remember, we're trying to get to that 250,000 subscribers. We're closer than you think. It goes much faster at this point, and it will be amazing to hit that number. See, I have a stretch goal. That's it. It doesn't cost a single thing to subscribe. It just tells YouTube, hey, people like cruising, they're sharing the cruising content, let's share it to more people. And you'll be notified whenever I put out a video like this one. And again, I would really, really appreciate it. It really helps the channel grow immensely. Okay, if you are on a cruise, say leaving from Seattle, and you have a stop in Victoria, either on the way there or on the way back, it looks like what's going to happen now is the cruise lines will provide you with the antigen test the day before you arrive in that port, where you will be then free to disembark and enjoy Canada. They will clear that through customs. Not quite sure if you're going to have to bring your proof when you're getting off, or if they were going to take the cruise line's words for it. I don't know. You would think it would be pretty simple. If the cruise line's testing everybody, they will know who tests positive, who will test negative, and they could inform, you know, because you have to scan your CPAS when you're leaving the cruise ship anyway, and if you failed your test, they're not going to let you off the ship. In fact, you're going to be quarantined before you get there. So it should be a very simple process, and again, these are regulations that are in place at the start now. We don't even have a cruise ship arriving in Canada until the beginning of next month in April. I believe the first one will be in Victoria. It'll be the Caribbean Princess, followed shortly after by a Holland America ship. And then out in Halifax Harbor, we'll have another Holland America ship arriving there as well. And then the whole cruise ship season kicks off. CLIA, the Cruise Line International Association, is very happy with these changes and the exemptions for children under 12. There's also exemptions for people under religious and medical reasons as well. So if you have a legitimate medical reason that you don't want a vaccine, you can apply for an exemption as well. Again, these will be harder to come by, just like they are now on cruise lines. Those exemptions tend to be held on for families with children who can't be vaccinated to reach that 95% threshold. So Canada, with the exemption of the children, obviously won't be sailing at that 100% mark. In fact, they're not counting the children under 12, which means there can actually be like an 80% vaccinated rate if you have 20% children under the age of 12. So it's going to be an interesting situation. But the good news is, full steam ahead for Alaska season in Canada. No worries for Alaska. No worries for the ports in Alaska. Cruising is coming, and it's coming full tilt. So yeah, I can't... and I really do believe that these restrictions are going to ease even more as we get closer to, say, May and June and July. I think you're going to see a lot of these restrictions disappear completely. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.